So welcome to Casual Wednesday. In other words, I didn't feel like putting a suit and tie on today. So last two nights, easy complimentary winners for you. San Diego State blowing out Washington in NIT action on Monday, and then coming up with Valpo in a home rout of St. Mary's last night. The short-term run with the complimentary plays, 29 and 16 with today's plays on Nevada and Vermont and Coastal Carolina and Grand Canyon. Go ahead, I dare you. Name me one player from any of those four teams. I'll double dare you. Name me the coach of any of those four teams. Hey, don't look at me for answers. You think I know? I mean, all I care about is whether or not they can cover the spread tonight. That's all that matters. A lot of hot handicappers here at the site, which is easy for you to say. Hey, Steve Budin's Cali Cartel did it again last night. Another 100-dime max wager winner with BYU. I think that's now 8 out of 9. What a nice roll for them. They don't have anything today, which, hey, you can't have something every single day. Should they have anything, however, for your games tomorrow in the round of 16 as it gets underway, you will certainly find out here on the homepage of the site or via the video report if you're watching me offline. Today, the guy perhaps that you should be most aware of is Gabriel DuPont, who has made $10 bettors $12,425 in college basketball alone since he debuted at this site February of 2 years ago. 124 wins, 93 losses has made them over 12 grand. Normally a 100-dime play like he had on Saturday when Gonzaga hammered Utah in the dance, like he had last night with BYU over Creighton is his top-rated play. Today, raised the stakes, 150-dime winner, number 9 out of 13 since he joined the site in all sports combined. And that's on your game between Cal Irvine and UL Lafayette, which is one of your games in the College Insider Tournament, which is also known as the tournament. If you pay $38,000, you can host a game in the college postseason. Yes, only you. You can get it today for a discount of $60 by using coupon code GABE, G-A-B-E. Anthony Red has another 100-dime winner in college basketball, number 17 out of 24 and third in a row since Saturday on the Georgia Tech San Diego State. That game's heavily discounted again, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Jeff Benton, who, has another 100-dime play today, number 15 out of 19 on the Grand Canyon Coastal Carolina game I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. He had a 100-dime winner on Valpo last night, had a 100-dime winner on Georgia Tech outright over South Carolina. My God, was that a rout. You know what, I'm going to talk about that Georgia Tech San Diego State game here in just a moment. You got them for over half price off, heavily discounted, and the same thing goes today. All your coupons, all your discounts, etc. over on the homepage. Let me first take a look at that game between Nevada and Vermont. That is in the College Basketball Invitational Tournament. Now, Vermont hails from the American East and a battle of the Catamounts. Yes, the battle of the Catamounts. What, you missed that? You didn't see that on the Four-Letter Network or read it in the USA Today a couple of days ago? Shame on you. Vermont beat Western Carolina at home 79-74. Then they won at Seattle in their second round CBI game 73-54. However, let's not get real enthused about that win at Seattle. After all, the Redhawks, I think their nickname is, they entered that game with a 15-16 record, and they helped along matters by shooting just 33% from the field. Now, Nevada's coming off a home win against Eastern Washington, 85-70 on Monday. Don't get too excited because Eastern Washington loves that fast up-tempo game, and they play absolutely no defense. What can I tell you? But Nevada's playing at home. Nevada's 13-3 in Reno at the Lawler Event Center this season. This is their very first postseason appearance since 2012. Now, Vermont is making its 8th straight postseason appearance, whether you're talking about the dance, the NIT, the ABC tournaments, the minor league rookie things, as we're talking about here tonight. One of them, of course, being the CBI. And 12th in 14 years. They hail from the American East Conference. Good defensive team. They have some length. They like to run the floor. They lost to Stony Brook, who eventually was beaten up by Kentucky in the dance in the American East Conference game. Interesting that their season open against Eastern Washington, the same team I was just talking about that Nevada beat by 15 a couple of nights ago, they opened by hosting Eastern Washington, and they lost at home by 20 points. Now, they had a good non-conference schedule. I mean, yes, did they lose? But they did play Buffalo and Purdue and Florida and Yale and St. Bonnie. 3 of those 5 teams are in the dance, right? They also beat Harvard. They beat Siena, beat Marist. This is a good shooting team, hitting about 49% of their shots from the field. They're also very good from three-point range, although they don't launch a lot of triples per game. They do hit at about a 38% clip. Vermont is definitely the deeper team. I'm looking at this price here at 4.5. And it's a tough game. I have to be honest with you. And what makes it a little tougher, because I would be all over Vermont if their biggest post player, or should I say their best post player, the 6'9" senior forward, Ethan O'Day, was going to be in the lineup. However, he has missed the last 2 games because of a knee injury. He's considered doubtful for tonight. He averages about 12 points and 6 rebounds a game. All that being said, this Nevada team, they beat New Mexico in the Mountain West Conference tournament in the quarterfinals, and then lost to San Diego State in the semifinals. It's been a great turnaround season. This team was 9-22 a year ago, 21-13 this year, but 4.5 is just one of those numbers. I look at this game, 2-3 points. So I'm going to grab the points with Vermont, a battle-tested postseason team with a lot of experience against a Nevada team that, although 13-3 at home this season, has been up and down like riding the roller coaster. So I'm going to take Vermont plus the points in that game. And then the Coastal Carolina game. Coastal Carolina laying 4 points at home tonight against Grand Canyon. Quick nickname of the Grand Canyon team. Cue up the Jeopardy music. Shouldn't we have some music here while you're thinking about this? I got the window open. Papers are blowing off my desk at the moment. Okay, listen, they're the Antelopes, but they like to be known as the Lopes. Quick, where's Grand Canyon located? Come on, this is a little easier, right? Anyway, they're outside of Phoenix. And this is a team that, can't be eligible for the dance or for the WAC tournament because they're on that 4-year double probation put in by Dean Wormer, otherwise known as the NCAA, because they had to wait 4 years after moving their program up in level to Division I scale. The first time Grand Canyon caught my attention this season was back in middle of December, where they beat San Diego State 52-45. Then they beat Houston in Vegas in a tournament 78-69. By the way, they won at San Diego State. Then in back-to-back days, they beat Houston and Marshall 85-81 in a tournament in Vegas. I mean, 3 huge wins in a 5-day stretch. But this is a team that's literally had to beg, borrow, and steal to get teams to come and play them in Phoenix. This is a team that was outstanding at home, 18-2, 27-6 overall, but not exactly a road-tested team. Because other than those games that I just told you about back in December, I haven't seen them do anything really much on the road. Now, you've got a Coastal Carolina team that, coached by Cliff Ellis, this is the 6th time in 7 years, all under Ellis's tenure, or his reign, in which they have made the postseason in one form or another. They beat New Hampshire 71-62 on Saturday. They beat Mercer 65-57 in their first game. And they did a great job defensively against those 2 teams, but that isn't surprising because on the year, looking at the latest statistics, they are 17th in field goal percentage defense, holding foes to 39.4 on the season. You've got a team from Phoenix that's now going to play Coastal Carolina. And quick, where is Coastal Carolina? Duh, they're somewhere on the coast of one of the Carolinas, okay? I'll give you that much. But where exactly are they? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they are in Conway, South Carolina, which I believe is 8 miles away from Myrtle Beach. There you go, just in case you happen to get that geography category in Jeopardy. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina at home in this one. I think that it's a cheap price. It's down to 3. It was 4.5 overnight and early this morning. It's now down to 3, a couple of 3.5s, but you ought to be able to get 3. Of these 2 plays, Vermont and Coastal Carolina, I would go with Coastal Carolina as my top 3 selection tonight. Now, quick word about that game between Georgia Tech and San Diego State. San Diego State, I was all over them on Monday, gave you some brilliant analysis. So you happened to visit the website that day of why they would take care of Washington in revenge. And they did so, scored a season high in that game, beating Washington 93-78. They scored a season high because Washington plays matador defense, as in they let everybody go right by with a wave of the hand. This is a team, San Diego State, that is built to win with its defense. And defensively, they're number 1 in the nation in terms of shooting defense, holding opponents to 37% per game, and also in the top 3 in terms of points allowed per game at just about 61 points an outing. This Georgia Tech team has been playing some great ball. Hammered South Carolina a couple of nights ago. But South Carolina clearly had no interest in that game. Okay, the Gamecocks still felt that they were overlooked by the Big Dance Committee. And South Carolina was also a shorthanded team. They had suspended 5 players before the game prior to that one in their NIT tournament action, and 2 of those were key reserves, so they were a little shorthanded. But you can't discount the fact that Georgia Tech jumped out by 30 points in that game, and they absolutely rolled to that victory, 83-68. And they beat Houston in their previous game, 81-62. Now, who have the Aztecs played other than Washington in this tournament? Indiana, University of Purdue, Fort Worth, blah, 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 blah. You know that team, IPFW, because nobody else wants to go ahead and tell you what the nickname or the name is of them either. The problem in this game, and I like Georgia Tech a little, but the problem why I wouldn't even venture it as an official free play is this. Think of the travel that Georgia Tech had to do. They didn't know who they were playing a couple of nights ago until the West Coast game, the late game between San Diego State and Washington was over. So it was almost midnight after beating South Carolina before they knew who they were going to be playing tonight. Then they hopped on a plane on Tuesday, took a commuter plane, almost 2,300 miles, arrived for this game. You got the time change that has to be involved in this contest as well. But you have a Georgia Tech team that is a great team on the boards, a very strong defensive team, has more length than San Diego State. I think 5 points is right where this game should be. I could see perhaps maybe the under being a better play in this contest, but it wouldn't surprise me if Georgia Tech pulled off the cover if they can get over the weariness factor. But this is a team that middle of the season, it didn't seem like their coach was going to be lasting another year. And here they are making a deep drive into the NIT tournament. And the winner of these games tonight in the NIT, go ahead and advance to play in the Garden for the semifinals. So I lean a little toward Georgia Tech. But again, your official free play is Coastal Carolina, followed by Vermont. That'll do it. Best of luck to you guys. And I'll catch you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.